Hello everyone, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Day. If you're watching after the day, Happy New Year, Happy Easter, and hopefully you're enjoying your summer holes. Today I'm going to be doing a quick review of the Advent calendar, a very quick review. Also going to have a quick look at some of the finds that I've had in the last year or so from World Coin hunts, because the calendar itself was World Coin related. And as I've made mention in previous videos, a little surprise at the end of one of my finds from a World Coin hunt that I think is the best find you could ever get. Right, so let's get stuck in. First off, the calendar. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I've had a lot of fun going through this on a daily basis, seeing what stuff we're going to be getting. And out of the 24 coins, I've done a quick breakdown. I'll pop it on screen, but we've had 5 from Europe, 4 from Asia, 4 from Africa, 8 from the Americas. So that includes North and South America, the Caribbean, all that neck of the woods as well, so everybody in between, and 3 from the Middle East. Now, the best finds of all, from my point of view, now we've seen all of these countries in the past, except for a couple. One of them was New Caledonia, another was Vanuatu, and the last day itself was Andorra. Now that was a €5 cent, so that was a nice little end to the whole calendar opening process. It was really nice to find. But yeah, some of these coins, they're not overly rare. The Canadian one, for example, down here, yeah, there's 230 million of those out there. Slovenia, for example, that one, 2.5 million. This one might only be 2.5, but it's only worth about 40p. None of these coins are actually worth more than probably £1 each. Some of them are probably only 20p. There was a Moroccan one there, a 10 centimat, that's worth no more than about 20p, because they are very, very common. The only difference being, as you can see, they're extremely shiny. But that said, this was a nice little bit of fun. Like I said, I enjoyed doing these. Hopefully you guys did as well. I did say during the videos I didn't know what I was going to do with these coins once I was done. To be honest, I'm probably going to keep them in the calendar. I don't know, is there a small hole on the back? Yeah, there is. I might just stick it up on the wall. I'm going to have to date it on the back, obviously, to see what year it related to, because if Westminster Collection do another one, I might get another one for next year, because this was a nice bit of fun. Right, so moving that aside, World Coins. Now, when it comes to doing World Coin hunts, yeah, you get an awful lot of mix-ups, a lot of bit of everything from everywhere. So what we've got here is our plural, come on man, is a small selection of those older coins, more unusual coins. Some are very, very common coins that you will expect to see. So for example, this one is very bashed up. It's dated 1890, but it's from Argentina. So it's a very nice find to get, because most Argentine coins that we do get tend to be 1950s, 1960s and onwards. So to get something old, even if it is a bit bashed, it's always a nice thing to get. So just because it's bashed doesn't mean it's not worth a lot. This is probably only worth £1 or 2 tops, if that. But from a collecting point of view, I've now got one in my collection, even if it's bashed. This next one, 1979, Bank of Korea. So that is 10 won. Now these days, if you watch any of the Korean films or TV shows, you'll know that they talk about won in the thousands or the millions just to buy a loaf of bread or something. So this obviously predates any massive changes the Koreans did to their currency at the time. But yeah, that's a Korean coin. So like I say, something slightly different. You also get a range of the same country but over a different period. Oh, excuse me. So for example, 1917, 10 Pfennig. So that is Germany. That's the old Imperial Germany. After that you had the Weimar Republic. So you then get something like this. This is 1924, 10 Reichspfennig. Now this one I do like, mainly because the patina on it, it's got copper in it, and the green is coming through on the coin, and it really makes the lettering pop out. So I do like this. It's a very, very common coin. 1924, a mint mark, so that's Berlin. But it's just the colouring that made me want to keep this one in particular. I've got others like it. So like I say, you've also got the Imperial, but also you get the darker times, the ones with the eagle, which I will cover up in my thumbnail because I don't want to go getting into trouble with the YouTube overlords. So you get a nice little selection of those come through every so often. 5 centesimi, 1862. Again, another fairly old coin, also fairly common. It's from Italy. So you get to see these 1860s, 1870s, there's 5 centesimi, there's 10s. They do sort of come through in waves. It's almost as though house clearances, they pick on the collectors and they come through at that point. As well as all the European stuff, you also get the Middle Eastern. Now this particular one is Iraq, and that is 1933, 2 fils. Now it might be 1933, so it's nearly 100 years old. Fairly common. There's about 1 million of these minted at the time. It's worth about £1, but bear that in mind. £1 from one coin. Now when you buy world coins in a bag, usually you get half kilo or a kilo. The prices keep going up, but you can get 2, 3, 5, 10 kilo bags, but then you've got to be a serious collector to be able to sit down and wade through that little lot. But bear in mind the prices, because a kilo bag is about at the moment £18. So then you also get the ones from what we used to call the Far East. It's now classed as Asia, but it's Japan. So that one is year 49. That's 100 yen. So that one there. But then you get this one. Now this one I do like. This one is a 5 sen from 1922. Now unfortunately it's been hit by a nail or something. Someone's tried to do something to it, like put a hole in it for a key ring or necklace or something. But that is year 11 of Taisho. So you've got the year and the emperor's period name down the bottom, but that refers to 1922. Now again, that one is only normal metal, bog standard, nothing fancy. It's worth about £1. And then you've got your Soviet era, so you've got 1 kopeck on that one, 1969. That one got old Lenin stood on the other side, CCCP, the old USSR. And bear in mind, it wasn't just Russia that used this sort of currency, but you've also got Bulgaria, 1 lev, 1962. Now obviously all the Soviet countries at the time probably used all the same coins, which brings us on to euros. Just because it's world coins doesn't mean you're always going to get the old stuff. So there we've got 2 euro cent and a 5 euro cent. Straightforward little coins. We see these every so often in our change. They get snuck in for a 1p or something like that. So those two fairly common, but these two, so 1 and a 5, these are from Eesti or Estonia. So you've got 2011 on the left, 2017 on the right. They only joined, I believe, in about 2011 anyway, so this is one of the original ones. This is a more up-to-date one, but yeah, not many people get their hands on Estonian euro cents or even euros themselves. Another country that joined the euro was the Republic of Ireland. Again, some of their older stuff you can get your hands on. These are fairly modern. You've got 1998 and 1994. So you've got 1 punt, a pound, and you've got a 10p. Those are quite common. This one not so much in world coins, but the 10p, the 5, even the coppers, the 1s and the 2s, they do appear quite often. And on occasion you can get some really good condition pre-decimal currency as well. Some of them from the 1930s, 1940s, and they are in really good condition. And collectors love to get the Irish stuffs for some reason. Don't know why, but they do. I'm one of them. But another area that you will get a lot of are territories and overseas dependencies, that sort of thing. So in this case, there's a few there from Guernsey. You also get Jersey, Gibraltar. You get the occasional Falklands one, and then you get all the different regions, the older countries like East Africa. So East Africa was around from the early 1900s to the 1950s, 1960s, and most of the country, most of that region got split up, and most of it became Kenya. But you get those coins pop up every so often as well. But you do get a lot of a mixture, a big mixture of what you can and can't get. And the good thing with these is you also get a little bit of silver. So a 1939 sixpence from the UK, not overly rare, not overly common, but in this case 50% silver. Yeah, if it was cleaner it'd probably sell for a couple of quid. So again, bear that in mind when you're buying a bag of something for 15-20 quid and you get one of those, happy days, you already start to make some of your money back if you were to sell them. However, this little baby, it's got George V on the front with a crown, which tells me this is going to be a dependency, a far off land under the empire. And when you flip it round, South Africa, 1932, 1 shilling. Now, although it's 1932 and it's a shilling, it's still pre-1945 sort of period. This one is 80% silver. It's worth about 5 quid in this condition. It's worn, maybe 6 at a push if a collector really needed one. But between this one and several of the others, you're probably looking at most of your money back on one bag if they all appeared in that one bag. Some of the other nice little things that you can find, that is 20 tie-in from Kazakhstan, 1993. I've never seen a Kazakhstan coin before, and I've had 2 or 3 in the last couple of months. So they're obviously doing the rounds at the moment. They're coming out of house clearances, collections are being sold. So these are around. 4 annas from India. Normally you get your anna, half anna, yeah, rupees, that sort of thing. This one's 1920. Fairly good condition. I'm happy to have that in my collection. And an older one from the Netherlands, so old 1 cent, 1878. It's very thin, very lightweight, and it's one of those that if you can come across one, sometimes 2 or 3 turn up. So it's a nice little way to start a year run. So if you ever get them, it's worth hanging on to. Now, I said that before as well about the 50 forint. I had a few turn up in a 50p hunt one time, and the joke suddenly was you finding 50 forints everywhere. So I've started a year run on those, and I'm starting to gradually work my way through. Now, the coin that everybody wants to find in a world coin hunt isn't necessarily something old, something silver, something shiny. Ideally it needs to have obviously some value behind it, some collectability, but when you pay £13 for a 1 kilo bag of mixed coins and you get the Queen staring back at you and you think to yourself, oh, what on earth's that? You don't expect to see a 1981 sovereign rattling around in a bag of mixed foreign coins. Like I say, the bag cost me 13 quid. It was a couple of quid for postage, call it 15. At the time of getting this coin, gold, the coin, it was probably about 350 quid's worth. So I felt a bit bad because the person I bought it from online on eBay, it was a charity. So I dropped him a line and said, look, I've got this coin in the mix that you've sent me. I'm not going to give you the coin, but I'm willing to give you a few bob towards your charity. Will you accept? And they said, thank you very much, we'll gladly accept. So I bunged them 100 quid. I'm still over 200 quid up. I've got a nice little bit of gold, and unfortunately finding this one is what took me down that dark path of collecting sovereigns. I've now got about 5 or 6 of them, mainly proofs, a couple of bullion ones like this one, but this just goes to show that there are treasures to be found. That's the only way I can describe it. As and when you do any world coin hunts, if you grab a bag of mixed coins off of somebody, if they've got a huge tub and they're sending out half a kilo here or a kilo there out of the tub, you're playing lucky dip. This was lucky dip with brass knobs on, bells on and everything. This was the best day of my coin collecting career so far. So never be discouraged if you get a bag of mixed coins and they're not brilliant. Don't worry about it. The next bag might produce collectibles. It might produce silver. You never know. It might even produce something that's old, that is collectible. It might not be worth a lot, but when you build it all up, it soon starts to help. So don't let getting duff bags get in the way of what is really an absolutely brilliant little hobby. Anyway, one last thing. If you do remember watching the calendar videos and I said about the 10 lira from Italy, I think it was day 18, I said that I had a bag full of the things. I do. Here they are. These are all the ones that I pulled out from the tub that we do for the World Coin hunts, just to get rid of the blooming things. They kept popping up every single hunt, and it is starting to get ridiculous. So I think I've actually got more value in aluminium weight than I have in collectibles. So there we go. You will come across very, very familiar coins on a very, very regular basis. Anyway, enough waffle from me. Hopefully this was a quick video for you guys. You enjoyed it. If you did, please consider leaving a comment. Favorite coin? Is it the Sovereign? Is it an old Dutch? Or is it just a pile of aluminium? Subscribe if you haven't. It's always very, very welcome to get new subscribers. Share the video as well. Get me out there. For some reason, YouTube at the moment doesn't seem to be pushing my videos. But above all, like I said at the beginning, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Easter, Happy Midsummer's Day, whenever it is you watch this video. I hope you're having a great day. Look after yourselves, folks, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers all.